This is how you do loose but long-lasting waves with the new Dyson Airwrap. My hair is naturally very frizzy and wavy, so my starting point for this is hair that I washed and blow-dried smooth yesterday. First thing I do is brush through my hair. It's very important. You don't want to Airwrap on hair that hasn't been brushed. If you have shorter bits at the front like me, I always style these first with the round brush. I basically just roll them upwards and roll them forwards a few times. And then they'll look like this. Roller in, I put it behind the section and roll it backwards. Part my hair into two sides, so I bring everything forward. I take the top section, I section that away. We're gonna curl using the smaller, thinner barrel today. This just creates like longer lasting, tighter curls. This is the on-off. This is the cool shot. This is the fan speed and this is the temperature. I use highest temperature and highest fan speed every time. The thinner the section, the better. It depends how much time you have. What you're gonna wanna do is turn it on, holding it at the bottom of your hair.
So this is how you create the longest lasting curl. You hold it at the bottom of your hair and you let it wrap round. You do not need to manually wrap your hair around this like a curling iron. It will do it for you. That's the point. And if your hair doesn't wrap round and flies in the other direction, you have it on the wrong side and you need to use the direction changer at the top. There is more to discuss and I will discuss it when we do the next curl.
Now you'll notice for that section of hair, I didn't turn the machine off. I just pulled it out whilst it was still on.
You'll notice how I keep my hair pinched in one section. This is to keep everything really tidy. I pull back to create tension, and this is how you create the best shape. And I then feed the hair up the barrel.
For this section, I will show you the method that you're supposed to use, where you turn it off and you pull it out.
This is using the exact same method of curl with the tension and the pull up. But in this method, I turn off the machine before pulling out the curl.
You might be able to tell on the pulling out of that curl, the curl is already looser than if you had just pulled it out when it was already switched on, and that's why I like to do that. Do you see the difference in the curl? When you do switch to the other side, you need to change the direction changer. This is curls away from my face. I do sometimes do towards. It just depends the look I'm going for. I know a lot of people in the comments will ask what products I use. I have an in-depth Airwrap tutorial on the old Airwrap, which I use in the same way from wet hair with product.
You can find that video on my profile on the Dyson playlist if you do want to do your hair from wet using different products, and I have different curl styles on there as well.
Now we're done. What you're not going to do is brush your hair. Leaving your hair to sit is the best way to get it to hold. If you start brushing it immediately, you're just going to break up the curls. My hair is still warm. Cool air sets hair and hot air creates shape. You need as much cold air on your hair as possible. That is often why people do the cool shot. I actually don't really bother with the cool shot a lot of the time. I like them to cool down naturally and sit in that hot shape and then cool down. Always brush them out with a wide tooth comb, never a paddle brush like I brushed my hair at the beginning with.
Now you're about to think I've gone insane, and this is an update since my last Airwrap tutorial. This is a new method I've discovered and I do not know why the science behind it works, but it does. Once I have brushed out my curls and they look pretty nice, I go through and I messily Airwrap big sections of my hair, as you can see here. This seems like a lot of effort. Honestly, it's not. It's a really quick, messy job. You can see I don't bother sectioning. I just grab random pieces and just re-Airwrap them and twist them out while the machine is still on. And for some reason, this makes them last so much longer.
Ah, no, I've ruined my hair. No, this is what we want. Well, that has cooled and it looks a mess. We do the second brush out. And there we go. The messy curl second brush out. I don't know why it works, but it does. If you have other questions, just leave them in the comments, or if you have any Airwrap video requests that you want, like specific attachments or more in-depth stuff, then let me know.